or your office hours. And let's have all of us share something. So we all get to see, let's see. I get to pick your colors. Let's go with green. All of you guys that pick green. So who wants to go first?
What's going well is the mock tests. I'm implementing mock tests and they're going well. The only bad side is I only get 2 students. So it works out well for them.
Okay. Do you go over every single question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I give them an hour for them to take the test and then an hour to review the test questions.
Do they take it seriously? Like, are
Yeah.
they gonna go on?
The first time they kind of didn't, but I said, oh, no questions until after
Oh, okay.
you guys are done taking.
Okay, nice.
Well,
All right. Another green. From Ken, or another green? Who else is green?
Joseph?
Oh, do you guys? Joseph?
What's going well? I have more attendees, and I think that more are showing up just because they know that it's improving their grade. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. Anything that's not going well?
Not going well?
Any challenges?
Not lately. It's been going pretty smooth. That's fine.
You're on the spot, Ken?
Okay, I have more students that are coming, and I think that's good because I hear the students like encouraging other students and saying like, oh, it's good, like come. And I also like passing out like worksheets for them because it kind of guides them, like, and then they have like something to keep and they can look over.
Any challenges?
Well, getting more people, and then maybe just yesterday, like I had a bunch of students that didn't want to go on the board, so I had to like kind of like motivate them, and I had to kind of switch it around where I gave them a worksheet and then they wanted to do that, but then like I gave them also a quiz and then I had them go on the board, like review it, and then they were working on the board.
Why wouldn't you want to go up to the board? I'm just wondering.
No shy maybe?
And you would go individually, I guess, to show
Have
everybody?
them do the work model board where it's divided. I don't think they like that.
Individually.
Yeah, like
Okay,
I'll
fair
sign
enough.
like one, do like the mathematical stats, the other one narrative stats. They
Oh,
just don't like it.
Any other ideas why you wouldn't want to go to the board?
You want it to be wrong, like if you answer wrong, people go, ooh, or something like that. But that's not the case. So. But it does help to have them look in pairs, or like kind of like what it's been on the other tests like in the past session. Yeah.
I know one of my students, he does things okay, but then when I ask him to go up to the board to do it, with other people too, he just chokes, and he starts to get really nervous, and then he gets a little angry. So
So here's a thought, and I think it's also right because the boards are like right on the wall. It's like where the teacher is always standing. I think. What if we, and just as for future references, if we have you know those clip-on boards? It's not like a board, but it's stand-up paper. What do we call those? The ones that are like standing
Call
up.
them big
Presentation.
Post-it
But they're
notes.
yeah, big Post-it notes.
Yeah, so.
And like if that's your little board, but it's not like this big whiteboard, do you think that would be helpful? I mean, it's smaller, it's just a stand up.
I haven't been seeing that problem. I actually have students that are asking to go to the board during
Mhm.
sessions, so I don't know
Interesting.
what the difference is.
Yeah, because it's small, right? There's a little piece of paper,
Yeah.
like a little Post-it. It's not put it up to the whiteboard, but like by itself, right? So you're not.
I think there will be 1 or 2 individuals who might not want to go to the board, but I find for the most part, the students do want to go up and work on the board. I may have gotten 1 or 2 that I said, okay, you take the marker, go to the board, let's all see it. And they didn't want to. So I would try to say, okay, that's fine, somebody else. You know, it's just a matter of preference for the student.
I was gonna say, a lot of, I know in my sessions, I always start my questions off easier and they get harder through the sessions. That gets everybody confident to go to the board at first. And so, I mean, if you're diving right into the material, you're gonna have those students that come in that are lost and they're gonna be less confident. But if you maybe start off with just some, baby stuff that gets them up to the board feeling good. That can give them a little more confident to get up to the board.
That's a very good point, right? Because you want to build up confidence, even if the little steps are the basic steps, if they can do it, then they can do the more complex steps. That's a great idea. Thank you. All right. Is that it? Yes. Let's do orange, or is this pink? No, this is orange. Who has orange? Just you, Raquel. Super special.
Same question, right?
What's going? Yeah. What's going?
It's going well. I'm doing better on my planning. I like doing that. I'm trying to incorporate more activities. It's not going well. Like Valentina, I'm struggling to get students to go. Look at a few. I'm also doing the mock tests, which they do like. But I'm mainly just trying to get them in there is what I'm really struggling.
Okay. Are you strategizing for the hours maybe? Could it be hours? Do you guys know?
Maybe. I do one right before class and one right after class on different days. And then the ones that do come after class, some stay, like they'll miss their next class, but most of them have a class at 4, and it's from 3 to 5. So they'll come and like I'll try to do like my activities and they'll kind of just like go up and put their problems up.
Okay.
I'm like, well, let's do this and then we'll come back to that. Sometimes like, so one student will just go in the corner and just
Yeah.
like, check this. Like they don't really want to get it.
And you guys both, so what class do you have?
Math 190.
And what do you have? That's good to kind of brainstorm. Thank you, Raquel. Let's do this one. What's this one? This is the hot pink. Yours? No, I've got this one.
Oh, no, we're still in orange then.
All right.
Yeah, even
Nobody did this one?
Well, why didn't you speak when we called for orange then?
This is more like, no, that was the other orange.
Is that orange?
That looks like orange to me.
No, that is a different color. That is, I can see
See?
that. Yes,
Oh,
I do see that.
This is more like,
I was just colorblind. Yes.
Let's go for yellow. All right, go Amy.
What wasn't going well was that in one of my classes, the attendance was going down. I had an SI session last Saturday or the Monday, but I had an icebreaker, and I set aside the first 10 to 15 minutes to ask how the students felt like they were doing, how they felt that I was doing, because I wanted feedback, like where we're kind of missing. And one of the students suggested that I should advertise my sessions more, and that was completely valid advice. So the following week, this week, I went to the class and I did what Francine suggested, and I sat in a different spot and talked to the students in that area and asked if they were coming. Like, oh yeah, there's a test, so they have to come. So we'll see. What's going well? I found that the icebreaker really did work because the other class talked about their concerns with the test format and all that stuff. So we kind of broke down an outline of, well, if we can't control the test as, we can't control the test, so what can we change for us? It's the middle of the semester, so it's now the pivot point, like we can change how we're approaching the test, or we can continue to do what doesn't work. So we kind of took that time to outline what we could do better.
That's great. Wow, that's really good. Yeah. And I think that we have to remember that because being a long semester, we all get tired, right? I mean, we all do get tired. So we forget the goal and keeping people in the goal, like what do you want to get out of the course, so that they don't forget that they gotta pass the course. And at least that can be reminded, even though, unconsciously they know that, but sometimes you have to be explicitly reminded by that. Cool. Thank you.
What's going well for me is that on the first test, a lot of students got Fs and they weren't really doing well, but they kept on going to the SI sessions and they practiced more, and after that, most of them increased their grades to like either a B and an A. And one student I'm like really proud of, she was like down like from 30%, like to a 95. She got the highest score in the class. So I was really happy. And then after that, everything started improving. Her labs, her quizzes, everything just kept going with it. So I was pretty happy with that. I changed my office hours so I could get more students, and then that helped with them. And then since I changed my office hours, she was the one that went to my office hours, and then since I changed it, she also changed her work, so she moved it around. So she's really focused on like this class. And I noticed that some things going back for me that some of the students are picking up jobs, and so they can't attend my SI session anymore. So that's what's going on. So I don't know how to attend to that. So.
Yeah, life happens. I mean, that's part of our community college life. Okay, okay then. Are you using that information to tell everybody about your?
No, I haven't yet.
Because that's a strong motivator. I mean, if somebody, that's a huge motivator for me if I'm like flunking it and then I get this big score. Any more yellows?
About 2 weeks ago, I went up to the board and I put up like at the beginning of the class, I put up pretty much a problem that they should know, but it was, I kind of like tweaked it to make it look like a little more complicated than what it normally is. And I told the class, I was like, this is a problem that's going to be possibly on your test. If you guys don't know how to solve this, I do really recommend you coming to my SI session. And that same day, it was a Friday, it was like Monday was their test, and that day I had 25 people show up for my SI session. So when I walked in, I was like, oh man, you guys into the wrong place. And yeah, 25 people showed up and did the street review. Everyone liked it. Everyone thought it was informational and stuff like that. And then the next day, I had 15 people go to my SI session instead of the normal like 4 to 3 that usually go on Saturday. So it was really helpful. A lot of people obviously they needed the review, but then the week after, I knew this was gonna happen since they just got done with their tests, and no one really showed up for Saturday session. No, Saturday session came like 3 or 4 people. Not Saturday. Friday session came from 3 or 4 people, and then Saturday was the day that like no one showed up. So I kind of expected it. And plus, I know that some of them had either a calc test, organic chemistry, or some other test that they had to focus on. So that was kind of like the downfall of that. And but today I started going back to my regular amount, about 10 people for my SI session. So it's starting to get back up there again. It's just that little point right after a test. I guess it just got exhausted. So, but that was mine.
Has anybody done that too as well?
No, I wanted to say something. He works overtime because Steve and I go to the Starbucks on Mount Vernon and stop over there by South Colton to do our own studies there. And I was there studying, and I was there, and 4 of the physics students, his SI students were there, and he's there to do his homework, but they all started asking him questions, and he's doing SI in Starbucks, so he's working overtime.
And right when Bryce left, another 4 people showed up from the exact same SI group. I was like, oh, leave me alone.
So he's trying to do his homework.
You better change where you actually do your studies now.
Yeah.
You're becoming predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has its plus and minuses. I mean.
Oh, I didn't mind it. I enjoyed helping them out.
But watch out, right? Not
Yeah.
too much on your plate.
Yeah.
You want to be successful. All right. Thank you. Has anybody done that? Like put a problem on the board that's difficult?
I was gonna try that this week.
I want to try it now. It sounds really effective.
Okay. All right. Let's do purple. Okay.
What's going well, I did a mock test for this last exam, and they really liked that because those bio tests are scary going into and they never know what to expect. So that way they could start thinking about what to study. So that one goes really well. It's just hard because the lecture usually goes right up to like the day before the test. So it's hard for me to like prep them for this test. Like they only have like a day or 2 to really study like the last of the material that they learned. So someone, I think Brian and someone else recommended that we do go over like YouTube videos. So we've been doing YouTube videos to like help prep them for the material that they're going to learn in lecture that day. And we've been doing like vocab matrices that they can take into like stuff to prep them for lecture so they can make it more productive. But then I get a lot of students, like half my students will come in and they just like haven't done the reading, haven't prepared, and it gets pretty frustrating because I'm not going to teach them, but like I want them to get something out of it, but I can't encourage them to study on their own. Like that's what to do. So.
And that is definitely a big challenge. Have you tried taking advantage? Well, it's difficult with the fact that if they don't bring textbooks or if they don't bring the materials, then you can't have them do an activity that is based on getting
right. And sometimes they do, and I'll have them do it in groups, but it's kind of like hit or miss. Like,
Do you have the textbook to the class?
I have it on my computer, so sometimes I let them, like we'll do it in small groups, and I'll put my computer out there, but it'd be nice on the textbook.
So I was gonna say you could use the Elmo, the document camera,
Mm.
and post it up, put it up there, and then have them read, you know, each person take turns reading. Do that also.
Okay.
Do all classrooms have that
Yeah.
document?
They all should, yes. Not this one in particular, but they all should have
That's
one of these.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah,
where
they
I'm
all
kind of
should
having a
have.
problem with when during my session, since my problems are kind of like wordy sometimes.
Mhm.
It takes me a good chunk of time just to write it all out, read it again, and then make sure everything makes sense. Because in that one classroom, the one I was talking I had problems with,
You don't have this?
I don't have that.
Oh, let us know.
I don't
Yeah.
either in
How
the
to
B building.
request it.
Yeah, it is.
One of the.
It's in the drawer on the B building, on the side of the desk.
I didn't think
Oh.
I gave those drawers.
No,
Yeah,
it's
you
not-
can.
there's a-
They're unlocked. They should be unlocked, right?
They're
No?
unlocked.
Yeah.
It's on the side.
They
Not all of them.
they're pretend. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that's unlocked is where you can access the computer, that's it.
Yeah.
Let's, I think we're
Yeah.
gonna be finished earlier than usual, so
Okay.
let's figure it out so that you do have access to those, because they should be easily accessible.
Yeah, because in the other rooms, well, the other room I have on Saturday, I just pop up the board and I'm like, all right, you guys read it, and then start going over, and it's a lot easier.
Especially, you guys are in the B building, is that what it is?
I have to.
One of my days.
Then we gotta find out if, technically they lock them out because, you know, susceptibility to theft, but usually not that way, usually. But we'll check on, thank you. So you're the only purple, I guess? All right, let's do blue.
Well, for mine, the good thing is that the mock exam was very effective. I had a lot of attendance. Bad thing is that after that mock exam, the attendance wasn't so high. But I got feedback, and they said it was very helpful to be able to, get a run through. I also had the same problem that they didn't go through one of the chapters. I told them to kind of glaze at it, look at it and stuff, but none of them did. So we had to kind of actually show them the way how to do it and have them look in their books and try to do it themselves and stuff. But
Yeah.
overall, they were pretty good. Other things is I lost a lot of time. Well, on my Wednesday class, I'm in the Wednesday SI. I'm in the Tech 101 building, and it was locked. It's usually locked, so I called the campus police, and they come, and it's like 30 minutes later. They didn't know where it was.
You can go inside and there's the little office. There's two ladies there. They'll open it for you. That's
really?
what I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Same here, that's, I'm the same.
Okay.
Just have them unlock it and then tell them when you need it locked again.
Thanks for that. That's good.
Brian?
Start with my bad. My bad is kind of what I've heard twice so far is day after the test, man, it's like a ghost town. I think I had 12 people in there the day before the test, and I had 3 people and 2 people in the sessions after. And so I'm trying to encourage them, like, hey, we're all gonna buy pizza and decompress, Nick. So I'm trying to just bribe them into coming, just get them something, because I know they all have physics and chemistry as well. And so it's a lot to get somebody in there, but I know we can do it. The good was that I've been trying to keep a theme, at least towards the end of my sessions. I've been trying to make sure, like, the theme of my session is they can come in not knowing anything, and then at the end, they have to know it. So my last couple problems is usually like make them create a problem, or they have to teach somebody something. And so I like to work with the YouTube a lot. Like instead of the divide and conquer, I like to make them go on YouTube and learn it and then do problems because it seems more reasonable. But anyway, I realized that in the comment sections, just when I do my own math, a lot of times when I don't get something on YouTube, I go through the comment sections and there's tons of people who are there for math help themselves, and they're asking all kinds of stuck questions. And so it really gives you or them the opportunity to kind of tutor somebody on the material. And these are, you know, when I make up a question for them, it's something out of the book or something, you know, something I think they should know. But I mean, when you're really dealing with somebody who's just stuck and they're proposing what they know, and it really takes it outside of the box for them to answer these questions that are posted in the comment section. So that went pretty well. We did that for both days, and it really made everybody think, made me think as well too.
Are you using a specific website for those, like the resources? Like
I have my trusted sources, because as you get into the higher mathematics, some of the people on YouTube they consistently get them wrong or don't do them right. So we have a couple trusted ones, but I let them choose. But they kind of know who I would say were the trusted people would be.
And that's good to teach as well. Like, how do you know what's a source to be trusted? Because we need to learn that a lot. So to be able to sample things and you're not just thinking in the first or the second, that's the one that you're gonna go for. You gotta sample and stuff. That's good.
So good things. So the video thing that I got from Brian, they really like it, and then some of them have actually been going to the videos themselves and finding the ones that help, so that's good. Another good one was I had a student that recently came into SI. She's new to SI, and I noticed that she didn't really volunteer at first, and I just kind of let her kind of just absorb it for the first time, because I feel like sometimes you just kind of throw them out there the first time that you get like nervous and they don't come anymore. So I let her do that. And the second time around, I actually kind of focused on her, but I also made it clear that I'm not trying to nag her. I just want to make sure that she knows it. And then she built a little more confident. In the second SI session, she actually went up to the board and actually started doing it. So that was really cool. Bad things. Okay. During the class lecture, the professor said that she will choose one of my questions to be on her exam or quiz, yeah. And then the students were like, oh, and then I had a bunch of students coming up to me, and then that was kind of my question up there. Some of them they haven't gone to SI or they can't make it to SI, either one, and they asked me if they could have my worksheets though, and I wasn't sure what to do because they're not exactly attending my SI. I'm not sure what I should do.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Judgment.
I have a hypothesis, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
They just want the question.
But some of them just legitimately can't make it though.
Yeah, if someone just can legitimately make it, then I definitely think it was just a judgment call.
I had the same thing happen. I have one student who like always wants to come to SI, but she's got another class.
Yeah.
But she comes and sees me at my office hours like almost every Wednesday. So I was like, I'll give you the model exam and then come on Wednesday and we'll discuss it. And so she had it all filled out, and we kind of did the same thing that we did. And I let her explain it to me so she knew that she was at it.
Could that be a hook though? Like if you give out the worksheet, could that be a hook for you to come back?
For them, they just absolutely can't make it though. So I'm not sure. But it could be a hook just for them to look at it. But I'm not sure what to do about that. So
At this point, I think that we all have to be welcoming no matter what, right? I mean, however you can throw that bait, whatever the bait takes, right? Regardless, it's an empty worksheet, right? You're not giving them, or do you have it completed?
I usually have a very completed.
So then you might want to consider.
So I think I'm just
reconsider
gonna
that.
give them questions.
Right. So blanks, right?
Blanks, yeah.
Or like you could do a worksheet where you have half of it, like it's an equation of whatever not, but you have a reactant removed.
Yeah.
So they had to be part of it, at least, like it's an incomplete worksheet, and not the answers, but the questions.
Okay.
And that may be, and again, it's like, okay, yeah, sure, like you're being welcoming, like, sure, take that. And it's really the end result of what. So you don't have to be in the middle of like, right, having that whole feeling.
Okay.
Or they having the feeling that, how mean is that person?
Yeah. And The other bad thing was during the lecture, one of the students, like I've never seen her in my SI, but like the question she asked, it doesn't seem like she's been looking through the book or anything. And then she's giving the professor a hard time. She's like, so what is it that we're doing? Like what are you looking for? And she's giving the professor a hard time. And I felt kind of like a dope because I was just sitting there not saying anything. So I wasn't sure if I should say something or let the professor handle it. So I let her handle it though, just in case. So yeah, but I was kind of mad because I was like, if you could like try it, it would make sense. But,
Right.
yeah. But I mean, I get the other side too. Some professors, you just don't understand.
Yeah, and sometimes we all get shocked by like some behavior and we're like, I don't know what to do with that behavior. So, like sometimes you just gotta think about it and yeah. And as an instructor, they definitely should. That's their call. Yeah. All right, thank you. That's very helpful. All right, let's do this. What is this?
Diamond. Isn't that like traffic cone orange?
I don't know. It's different for sure.
Would you say Shaka Cone orange?
No, traffic cone.
Traffic
orange.
cone orange.
Yeah.
So positive things. I did mention to the class after the first exam, the class average was pretty low. It was like in the 60s. There were a couple A's, but there was some B's and C's. But everybody who was attending passed with this year better, and I did say that out loud to everybody. Professor Main, he let me know some of the scores, and specifically let me know the scores of the ones who attend. And so I made that. I didn't say names, but I said to the class, everybody who's attending is passing, and some of them are passing with high grades. After the second test, again low scores, and I made the announcement that one of the students got 100 on the exam, and that motivated like 2 or 3 people to come to the session. So my numbers from there went up. I tried another thing that I tried, and it really worked. Is I went to Professor Main's other 095 class, and I announced there, I'm assigned to that section, but you're welcome. And I'm getting 5 regulars from his class now. So my numbers,
Nice.
attendance went up by at least 5. And so now I'm getting more people show up. So I'm seeing positive results from the students who are attending. Obviously, they're all passing, and I'm getting a few of them who are getting A's. One in particular is bombing every test. And that's my negative thing, is that I put a lot of effort with him, and he's trying, and he knows the process of everything, and we go over all the steps, right, and we go everything that he has to do, and he gets it when he's there, but he's so focused, and he's not able to focus on the exam. The little mistakes that he's missing, and that's what's costing him big on the exams. And he gets frustrated to the point where he becomes aggressive with his language, with me, not at me, but he'll cuss in anger when he's there with me, and I just I'm not intimidated by the guy, but and I just go, look, man, I'm gonna be blunt with you. You're unfocused. It's one thing to know what you're doing. It's another to actually be disciplined and take that's what math is. You have to discipline it, and kind of like what Brian does with I kind of have this thing where I do every session now, is not like what Brian does, but a little different. I take a moment to talk to them about what I think they should be doing, as opposed to, I said, put your stuff away now. You got about 10, 15 minutes. Let me talk to you about stuff. And the last session, I talked to them about specifically math is not just about numbers and X and Y's and and all that. Math is really, I told them, it's about the process and learning how to do something. Math doesn't just teach you this, it teaches you how to become a person who can think logically and can think through steps. And I used a couple analogies. I used the pilot, I used the construction worker, and I used the student. and that's not math. And it's, you know, a pilot does this, but he's got to do all these other things, and all these things have to be done correctly. And a pilot can't afford to get a 99 on a test because otherwise the plane is going to crash. He's got to get 100. There is no, it's not, oh, you got a 95, you passed. No, he's got to get 100, otherwise that plane is going to crash. And I use these kinds of analogies, and they all looked at me and they clapped after the first one. They all clapped at me and they said, wow, and they were like inspired, and they all come back. And now to this last week, I almost forgot to do one. And they're like, where's our pep talk, Ivan? And I was like, they want that now. So it's, you know, my numbers are coming up. I'm getting better feedback from them. They're doing well. And it's just that one student he's trying, but he's not getting it. And I don't want to be the one to tell him, dude, if you don't have it by now, you just don't have it. I'm sorry.
I wonder if my niece has a partial, and she's a great student, she tries really hard, but visually, she can't see 100% in one eye. And that costs her the visual impact, so we're not aware of it. Like, if you see her, I mean, she's well, eye development and everything's good. But it really is internal. It's not like you are able to see that there's a defect. So sometimes, you know, consider that in your students. And she does have trouble in math, like seeing the negative signs, seeing the positive signs, forgetting the little things, and that costs little things like that. So be aware of those sorts of things that you're not, you know, superficially we're not aware of. So directing them to the specialists that we have here in disabilities. And you gotta work on your speech of how to make sure that they go to the disability, or just walk with them. It's like, oh, not even telling them they're the disabilities area, because I've done that. But it's like, oh, I have this person that may know, you know, what may be happening in your, you know, learning process. And then we walk and we go to that office, and they don't have like a big banner that this is for disabilities. It's just that they're there to help. So, you know, we're kind of duping them, but if you think about it, we don't like to be disabled in any way possible, right? But sometimes we are defective in some way, right? And it might not be, you know, things that we see.
So are you saying that in his case that he should take that person down there?
You could, yeah.
That would be tough, because he's
right, but
he's,
right.
One,
that's
he's,
what I mean. Like, you gotta
he's
know.
Ex-military, and
well, that is
he's got a very
Okay.
very macho personality.
Right. Here's where the counselor.
Is he just testing badly? Like, does he just need more practice, like in a test situation? Because people freak
honestly,
out under pressure.
No,
sometimes.
I think he wants to be a good student.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't think he is a good student. As far as, okay, a good student in the sense that he's getting bad grades. He may be a good student at heart.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to. He wants it, and sometimes
Maybe
that's all a person needs to get them to, you know, to break that barrier to be a good student on paper. But he's you know, he's unfocused, and I'm not gonna say this like kidding or joking around, but like I wonder if it's like maybe post-traumatic stress.
I was gonna say post-traumatic stress.
Because he went to the first Iraq war, you know, first Bush president, the early '90s. Then he went to Kosovo, and he's went through, you know, he's seen a lot of, you know, war action, and I'm wondering, okay, so now he's back to being, you know, not a military person. He's now rejoined society, if you will, and now he's entering a different kind of realm, an academic world, which is totally different than the military world, and a lot of the things he talks to me about, a lot of things he'll bring up examples. Like one thing he consistently says is, I don't understand why I can't do this. I could drop out of a plane with the machine gun on a mission and do this, and I go, yeah, and I'm sure you can. And I try to, in my little knowledge of the military, I try to kind of explain to me, you know, if maybe in your mission you had to do these things and prepare this way, this is maybe you didn't have to focus there. Math, I go, you have to focus. You have to take every little step. You know, maybe you rehearsed your mission ahead of time, and there you have to get it right, otherwise you're gonna die. Here you're not gonna die. If you get it wrong, you erase it and start over. You know, so it's different, you know, but I'm having that trouble with it. But, you know, I'm trying my best with him, and I told him, dude, no matter what, if you get an F in the end, I don't care, I'm not gonna stop, dude. And if you need to come to me 100 times, I will be here 100 times. And I will be here every single time. And if you fail, you come back, I will still be here. Okay? But, you know, I'm going to keep telling you, and I'm going to keep drilling you the same way you were probably drilled in the military. You got to do it this way.
And that's very good to be supportive for whatever reason. I mean, that's really who you guys should be. You guys should be the support. But kind of going back to Joseph, you got to think about different reasons why, you know, we all are a surface, and we all want to pass a course, but we all have a lot of external factors and internal factors that we cannot control. And definitely having veterans, and that's good that you guys know, because we will have more veterans as time moves forward. And I know our college is moving to get more veterans, which means that poses our challenges into how we understand people that haven't gone through the same experiences we've had. And giving support is one of those things, but I think this is a good topic to kind of maybe have next semester.
Yeah.
Of how to understand mental disabilities and mental disabilities doesn't mean that, you gotta be crazy. It means a lot of different things. And sometimes we're not really well trained. I personally am not trained how to handle certain situations. And I think we all should have that, so.
The reason I asked is because I had a student that, it sounded like the same situation. I really tried hard on him. And he already dropped, so I already lost him, but I feel like, any kind of extra help, like taking him to that place that you mentioned, would have been beneficial, and I didn't know about it at the time.
Oh.
So I already lost him, it's too late.
Okay. Well, yeah, for next time, DSPS services, we have an awesome student health services.
We do. Yes, we do.
We have specific counselors that are here. They're willing to talk to you. And so sometimes, again, it depends on how you got to work on the speech. How do I say it to the student? What would be better? Knowing the student a little bit can actually help to build that rapport and see how do I do it. I'm kind of giving you an example of how I duped one, but that's because I had that kind of connection that I was like, okay, I think I could do this, right? And it's really experimental because, something could have gone wrong while I did that, but it didn't, so good, and then you kind of try different things, but you should definitely allow them to see other resources, because we have plenty of them here, and then I'll go with you on that part.
I would be kind
Yeah,
of.
let me get.
I would be kind of like afraid to say anything, because what if I offend them? But would it be better if you maybe direct it towards the class, not like pinpoint to someone?
It depends, right? If you say generally, like we have these services, sometimes that's not what it takes. It takes you to actually walk the person to the counselor or to this or that, because you throw that out there and that doesn't sometimes have an effect. So again, you want to play by ear. If that's one way of doing it, like to introduce the idea, everybody needs this, or you have a little story behind something, that makes it more realistic to them. But sometimes you really, you got to play by ear. But sometimes it's helpful to actually walk the person to the area, because you'll lose them.
I have a student just like him too.
Yeah, and definitely
Very
our college will be
aggressive
growing
and
on that. Yeah.
Negative sometimes, but I still work with him. I still enjoy working with him, and he was actually one of the students that got exempted from one of the test problems, but he does have that frustration in him.
So how do you, as a counselor, how do you deal with frustrated students?
It's a very, very case-by-case basis. I'll answer that question right now, but to try to sell them on the idea of DSPS, expect rejection, expect reluctance, because no one wants to be labeled as there's something wrong with me, right? I mean, we can all get that. More often than not, you have to plant a seed and try to say, like, I see you working this hard, I see this happening, and something's still not right. Maybe it's safe to assume that there's something else going on that we're not tackling here. They have assessments at DSPS, so maybe we can figure out what is going on. I mean, the state of California, you're paying for these services whether you using them or not. So I would hate to see you working as hard as you're working, and me working with you, and you not pass or be successful because of something else we didn't factor in. And most of the time, they will say no, 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 no. I have many times walked students over and personally walk in. That's really the best thing, is walking. If anyone doesn't know where it is, it's on the bottom level of the administration building. Sorry, where EOPS is, walk in EOPS, DSPS right there. It's a very, right across from the financial aid, it's right across. So that's where the DSPS part is. And there are a lot of assessments, there's a lot of things. And if they just would be open, just ask them if they would be open to the idea. And they might shoot you down, okay, but, and if it still consists, try to revisit it. It's a really, really touchy, sensitive subject, especially with grown man who can be violent, or not violent, but aggressive in his frustration. Okay, I get that. So plant seeds, and if one day they might be open to doing it, walk them over. That's probably the best you can do, because it ultimately has to be their decision. You can't say, oh yeah, this is what's going on. Yeah, you need to do. No, never that. But ask them if they'd be willing or open to, maybe there's something we're missing here. And we have experts here to do it. Every single one of you and every single student here is eligible for counseling sessions and therapy sessions at the health center, regardless if you use it or not. Most of us don't use them. Most of us didn't even know they were there. We have licensed therapists here, and it's over by the track and field, the student health center. And that could be, oh, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed out, I feel depressed, or whatever, for more severe issues, or just something like, what, I'm bummed out and no one understands me, I need to talk to someone. They're there. And you all have, a certain number of therapy sessions already paid for, waiting for you every single semester. And that is also, those of you who go to Cal State or UC, wherever, same thing. There are licensed therapists. They're on call, walk in, you can make an appointment, or there is a walk-in counselor every day scheduled, and every single one of you has that right, a certain number of sessions. I think it's like 9 or 12 per semester. In the Cal State or UC system, as well as here. So if you need to figure some things out, or you want to vent to someone or something like that, please use them. I mean, you're paying for them whether you use them or not. You might as well use them. And you might, realize that, it's quite beneficial. A lot of us in this society, we have a negative notation of counseling. Oh, there must be something wrong with you. You're going to therapy. Marriage counseling. Oh, you must be having problems. You're going to therapy. Where a lot of times it's preventative care, to help you get to know yourself a little bit better, to help to process things like stress in a positive way. A lot of people use drugs or alcohol. What's a more positive way? Oh, going to exercise and running around the block, talking, writing, singing, whatever. A lot of people will abuse other ways to deal with stress. And talking is a positive way to do it in therapy. And you have that right at your door. So not only for your students, but for yourselves as well. That's really, really, really important. And to just going back to the real issue, see if they're open to doing it, because there's maybe something, we're missing. And since I'm not an expert and you're not an expert, would you be open to being assessed for it? Yes or no? And if not, okay, we'll just keep going. They have a veterans counselor. I know Ms. Ramsey does some things with the veterans. They don't have a full-time veterans counselor, but that's a safe assumption, the PST or whatever. Very, very common. Sounds like he's used to being hyper-focused. For mission, it's do or die, literally. And if you're in that mentality, this isn't do or